You have probably heard the terms ozone layer depletion and chlorofluorocarbon gas. However, unlike global warming, you don't hear much about ozone layer depletion these days, do you? Today, let's delve into the topic of the ozone layer and mankind's efforts to protect it. Back in 1928, an American chemist named Thomas Midgley developed a remarkable refrigerant known as chlorofluorocarbon, or CFC gas. In a scientific conference, he demonstrated the safety of CFC gas for human exposure by directly inhaling the gas and using it to extinguish a candle. This dramatic display of the gas's properties heralded the arrival of CFCs, which would go on to revolutionize the refrigeration industry. As a result, hazardous and potentially explosive substances such as propane and ammonia, which were previously used in existing refrigerators and other applications, were gradually replaced by CFC gas. With the advantage of being safe and affordable, CFC gas made its way into all facets of daily life: refrigerators, air conditioners, fire extinguishers, and hairsprays, all enhancing our overall living standards. However, a paper published in Nature in 1974 shocked the scientific community. The paper revealed that CFC gas, when released into the atmosphere, is carried upward into the stratosphere and destroys the ozone layer that protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation. The authors of the paper, Sherwood Rowland and Mario Molina, made the assertion that when exposed to ultraviolet radiation, chlorine atoms released from CFC gases would systematically deplete ozone molecules. They advocated for regulations on the use of CFC gases. However, some companies associated with fluorocarbons argued against the findings, stating that since these studies were conducted solely in laboratories, there was no direct evidence that fluorocarbons were actually depleting the ozone layer in the atmosphere. They dismissed the link between fluorocarbons and ozone depletion as science fiction. In fact, during that time, the United States, which was a major producer of fluorocarbons, saw covert corporate lobbying efforts surrounding regulatory policies on chlorofluorocarbons. However, fortunately, the U.S. government eventually recognized the dangers of fluorocarbons and implemented a complete ban on their use in all aerosol products. As a result of these efforts, the production of fluorocarbons saw a slight decrease in the mid-70s. The problem was that the issue of CFC gases could not be resolved through the efforts of a few countries alone. Due to the lack of clear scientific evidence regarding the destruction of the ozone layer, it was particularly challenging to obtain international consensus on the issue. As a result, as you can see, in the 1980s, many countries, including developing nations, started using CFCs, leading to a resurgence in their production levels. To effectively reduce the production of CFC gases and prevent ozone layer depletion, it was crucial to undertake further research to substantiate their harmful nature, followed by a worldwide agreement based on this evidence. And in order to achieve such consensus, it was crucial to raise awareness about the dangers of CFC gases throughout society as a whole. In the midst of this, in May 1985, a paper was published in Nature that sent shockwaves throughout society as a whole. It revealed that a hole had formed in the ozone layer. In his paper, meteorologist Jonathan Sahnklin highlighted that due to CFC gases, the ozone in the atmosphere had been decreasing by 10% to 20% annually since 1981, resulting in the formation of an ozone hole in the ozone layer. In a parallel development, in August of the same year, NASA satellites directly captured images of the ozone hole over Antarctica, revealing the alarming fact that over the span of approximately 6 years, the depleted area of ozone was comparable in size to that of Russia. In essence, the hypothesis that CFC gases cause ozone layer depletion, which emerged in the 1970s, was verified by the actual occurrence of ozone depletion in the atmosphere. And surprisingly, intentional or not, the way these two studies were communicated generated a remarkable marketing effect. Rather than focusing on the scientific fact of the thinning of the ozone layer, the use of the word hole in the ozone layer, along with a single photograph, left a profound impact on people's minds. Additionally, the fact that the depletion of the ozone layer had immediate consequences for life, including the onset of skin cancer, swiftly captured the attention of the public. This was a stark contrast to the issue of global warming, highlighting the significant difference between the two issues. The idea that a slight rise in the Earth's annual average temperature can result in an increase in natural disasters, such as floods and droughts due to abnormal weather patterns, might seem vague and not strongly resonate with the average person. Moreover, the substances responsible for causing global warming come from a wide variety of sources and can be difficult to pinpoint. However, the issue of ozone layer depletion was clear-cut. Human-made substances, in particular CFC gases, caused a depletion in the ozone layer. When the ozone layer is depleted, exposure to ultraviolet radiation increases the risk of developing cancer and can lead to fatalities. Therefore, the solution was simple: reduce the use of these substances, particularly CFCs. It's straightforward, isn't it? The scientific fact that CFCs were actually depleting the ozone layer, coupled with a shift in societal awareness, eventually led to a significant development 2 years later. The international community reached a historic agreement. That agreement is known as the Montreal Protocol. In 1987, representatives from 20 countries came together and signed the first-ever international environmental treaty aimed at gradually reducing the production and consumption of CFCs and promoting the use of alternative substances. During that time, developed countries provided financial support to assist developing nations in reducing the use of CFC gases. They also provided research funding to companies involved in CFC-related activities, enabling them to conduct research on alternative substances. At present, the number of participating countries in the Montreal Protocol has grown to 196, encompassing both affluent and impoverished nations, with nearly the entire world involved in preserving the ozone layer. The protocol continues to be periodically revised, and such efforts have yielded positive results. Since the implementation of the Montreal Protocol, the production of CFC gases has decreased, and NASA has announced that the thickness of the ozone layer over Antarctica is showing signs of recovery. It is projected that by around 2060, the ozone layer will make a full recovery. In other words, it was thanks to the efforts of humanity that the news of ozone layer depletion was addressed. If it weren't for the efforts made 30 years ago, humanity might have faced even greater challenges due to the impact of ultraviolet radiation. Couldn't the same principle apply to global warming as well? What will our future look like in 30 years if efforts to prevent climate change are not made now? However, personally, I believe there is a glimmer of hope. Humanity has consistently found answers, and the case of the ozone layer undoubtedly serves as a beacon. While hoping for a world where discussions about the lack of attention towards global warming become more prevalent, we ponder why this topic seems to be less prominent nowadays. Science is a window to the world, and this has been Science Dream. Thank you for watching.